have invited Dr. Jyotika Rajawat Shah. Welcome, ma'am. She's a scientist at CDRI, faculty member at Molecular and Human Genetic Division, co-author of Protocol Handbook of Cancer Biology. Along with it, also she is editorial board member of Indian Scientific Journal. And not only this, she has 10 years of rich experience in cancer research. Ma'am, now you can begin.
Thank you, Sheetal. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Jory, who invited me for this session. Thank you, sir. Then I would like to extend my thanks to Principal Ma'am of IT College, and my special thanks to Sheetal, who coordinated with everyone and finally arranged this talk for you people. And she explained me about the FOCE, and I appreciated that it is very innovative and the novel cause which you young girls are carrying out. And it will be very helpful for our society if you'll conduct the research in this direction. So she briefed me that you people are having some problem in starting your research work, how to start and from where to initiate it and how to do the research. So today I'll be covering these topics only, where we can see how you people can initiate your research work and how you can compile it in a better way. I will share my screen, the presentation with you all. Yeah. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, visible.
Okay. So let's, before starting any research work, you have to pose several basic questions for yourself to understand in which direction you want to take up your research to be addressed. Like if you look around your environment in your vicinity, you will find certain problems which we people are facing. So from that, you can pick up a question of your research and try to solve that. You can find out the solutions to those problems which are around you. So next question then you have to ask is, why is it important to do us meaning so that it can be beneficial to the society? So why is it important? You should know. Then now, when you have identified the solution question, now next step is, how will you study this problem? How will you carry out the research to solve that problem? Next question which you should pose is, what will be the possible outcomes? See, every research which you are doing should have some implementations in the society. Okay. So before going ahead only, you should have some clear picture that what will be the possible outcomes of this research, and what will be the implication of the study to the society. So these are the several questions which you should ask before starting the research work. After that, now we'll come to the topic where we'll see what our research proposal outline should look like. For starting the research, first you have to draft this outline of your research project. So basically, what all elements are included in this research project outline. So we'll start with first one is the title. Like whatever question you are posing should come in the title, because not all will be familiar, or not all will have the time to read all your go through all your research background. So what your title will be it should be a crispy title. By reading that title, audience or the normal person can know that what your research work highlights to. So after the title, you should cover the background and the rationale. And this background and rationale should include the literature review. Now, literature review means the whatever international level and national level research has been done in that particular direction. So whatever research topic you have chosen, you should do some background search of what type of research has already been done in these areas. Okay, so when after conducting your research, when you write your research work, you will document it. So in that documentation, you have to cover the background also, some literature review. So that will give the reference, like what type of work has already been done and what you have added to your work. Then next one is hypothesis and research aim. Okay.
Perfect.
So after background and rationale, now we know that what type of work has already been done. So now we'll formulate a research question for our type of our work, and that we categorize under hypothesis or the research aim. So here, this in this hypothesis, we are formulating a research work. Then next we'll go for objectives. We'll divide our research question into 2 to 3 objectives, which we'll study step by step in an orderly way. Next element is the research methodology or process. That is what type of experiments you will do, what type of methodology you will pick up for your study, for completing your research work. So you will go for methodology. Then you have the work plan and timeline is very important because you have a limited time frame. Say you have to complete your research work within 6 months or within 3 months. So you have to first only formulate like within what time frame you will complete what part of the research. So after that, you'll also have to pick like what project outcome will be there, because project outcome is very important. Whatever research you are doing should have some implementation to the society, so that will be reflected in the outcome of your project, whether it is a direct application or it is it's not necessary it has to be direct application every time. Your basic research is also very important. So indirect or direct, it should have some outcome. And the lastly, the budget, because for every research to carry on, you need some money to implement or to carry out or conduct the research. So budget is very important. In budget, you have to formulate the cost of every items which you will be required to study or to carry out the research. So in detail, yeah. So now first we'll come on the title. Now title should give research back. After the background and rationale, now we'll come to the research question. The next thing is research question. So your research question should state the main ambition of your project. Okay, what value proposition it will add? What is the novelty of your research, which is not being done or which is not been done in the particular, which has been done in some region, but in this region it has not been carried out. So you can carry out the similar kind of research which has been done in other region or other part of the world. So after formulating the research question, now you will divide your research question into research objectives. So usually for conducting any research, we take up around 3 to 4 objectives. But if it is a small research work, 1 or 2 objectives will be sufficient. So your objectives will define how your research will progress from the start to finish. So suppose my like the example I have given, like we will be studying the quality analysis of the rainwater in rural and urban areas. So I will divide it into suppose 3 objectives. So my first objective will be, first I will identify the study site. Okay, and then collection of the rainwater samples from the urban areas and rural areas. So for such type of, if you are going into ecology or environmental level research, then identification of study sites is very important. So that will be my first objective. I will identify the sites and I will start a collection of the samples from different sites. Then my second objective will be preliminary quality check of the rainwater. So after collection of the samples from different parts or different regions, now I will perform the preliminary check of these type of samples. And then third objective will be to do physico-chemical analysis of this rainwater collected samples. So in physico-chemical analysis, so these are the 3 objectives I have framed for my research. Now, next part of the research proposal will be research methodology. And this is very important. So in research methodology, first what you'll do, you will frame an outline, a research, like you will design a theoretical framework of how you will proceed with your research work and what type of experiments or techniques you will use for completing that research. Okay, so the major, suppose if you are going for we say like population-based study. So if you are going for population-based study, then the major elements to focus in this research methodology will be, first, the type of population you will be taking up. You're picking whether it's a disease, if you are studying some particular disease, and what population, the patient types you will be selecting, Okay, what will be your sample size? Sample size is also very important. So sample size has to be defined earlier only. Then how you'll proceed with the data collection, what during what time schedule you'll collect the data. After that, data collection, you'll perform the experiment, and then the data analysis, how analysis will be done for each type of experiments. And the last important thing, if you're going for a population based study, the ethical consideration. So you have to get the ethical considerations with the population you are studying. That is very important. It comes under ethical category. So suppose now, if like and also in methodology you have to identify the intervention types. Suppose your intervention types include whether it's a preventive approach, it is a therapeutic approach, or it is an assessment, or it's an awareness approach. So all should be categorized early only before starting a research. Then you have to also identify the area of research, whether you are going for a product development, or you are going for a recycling of any product, or you even the policy making is also a part of the research, because in policy making also the research our research which you have conducted will be helpful in designing the policy by the government. Then after you have identified your area of research intervention types, then you have to select the target population. So the target population include, if it's a age-based population, it's a gender-based population. And if you're going for the sites, then you have to identify the study sites, support areas and the rural areas in Lucknow. So I have to identify those study sites before starting my research work. So these all comes under your research methodology. So here, suppose like I'm doing physicochemical analysis of the rainwater. So what I will study after identification of the target sites and all, I have to also identify the methodological approach I'll be using. So I will estimate the pH. Now, most of you must be from chemistry background also, or biology background. So you can study such type of simple experiments where you can do pH assessment. Then you can estimate the turbidity of the water, the BOD levels, the biological oxygen demand, the chemical oxygen demand, COD levels. Then you can identify the dissolved solid, total solids, any bacterial forms present in the water, any heavy elements like lead, arsenic, magnesium can be identified. So these are the simple experiments which you can perform. So you design the research methodology. Now, after that, now you have to start your research work. So plan of work and the time schedule is very important. So you'll plan, like you have framed 3 objectives. So you will initiate with your first objective. So you'll identify the study sites, go to the study sites, collect your data, collect the samples from there. Suppose other than samples, you can also, if you are going for survey-based analysis, so in survey-based studies, what we do either get the questionnaires filled, or we go for the personal interviews. So that is also one type of research which can be done. So all these are involved. So you go ahead and like step by step, starting from your first objective, then second and third. So that plan of work and time schedule is important in research. And after that, now you have started your work, you will start the data collection and you will perform analysis on that. Now you have to concentrate on the actual analysis of the material or the sample which you are doing. Okay, so once you have started doing analysis, it will take you in particular direction. So your key results will now define your focus of your research. Because sometimes we start with one particular question, but once we start collecting our data and when we analyze our data, we'll come to some another conclusion. Okay, so we can shift our study depending on how our results are going, in what direction our results are going. So we can shift the focus also of the research accordingly. It's not hard and fast, like we pose this question, so we have to get that answer only. Okay, so your research data will decide the outcome of your research. Now, once you have analyzed your data, now it is very important to present that data. The key results should be presented in the form of visual elements, because they are more appealing and they are more understandable rather than reading the whole text. It is better if you can express your results in the form of figures, in tables, any illustrations, or you can list your result data. So that is very helpful in audience to understand your research. Then for analysis, now there are many statistical softwares which are available, and those are very important in validating your data, your results. So it is advisable to use statistical softwares like you have Prism, there is a Prism software, then there is an SPSS software. So various softwares, biostatistical softwares are available to analyze your data and establish the validity and authenticity of your data and the results. So then after presenting your results, when you have completed your all research work, now you will document it. So while documenting, you will also go in this particular direction only, like starting from the title to your results and data analysis. And in this, it's very important to highlight or to include the bibliography also, the referencing, because you have used the literature review, you have done literature survey, and you have you have given the reference of some particular research already done. So it is very important to cite that work also, which is relevant to your research in your proposal, research outcome also. So bibliography or referencing is a part of this research proposal is the outcome. Now you formulated that you will come out with the particular outcome. So the outcome could be in the form of technology development. It could be in the form of patents. Even if you have identified something new, you can go for patent filing also. Or not necessary any product or technology you have developed, any societal benefits or societal application of your research can be listed in your research proposal in the end of your research. So this is a project outcome which will which will explain to the audience why your research is so important and how it will be applicable now for the society. And the last part is the budget, as I have explained, that you have to predict and cost all the aspects of your research, and you have to list what materials and things will be requiring for your research and what cost it will be. So that will be helpful in getting some funding. You can go for crowdfunding also. Nowadays it is very new thing. Like if any novel idea you have, you can get the research fundings from different agencies. Some private agencies as well as the government funded agencies. So this is how you'll go ahead with your research work.
So go ahead and ask questions. If you don't have any to ask Jyoti,
Yes.
then we can thank her for her time. And then if you all wish, you can stay online and I can answer some of your questions, which you may be wanting to look at your own individual projects and do that. But I suggest this is a golden opportunity because Jyoti is very busy and she accepted our invitation at a short notice. So I suggest please do ask questions and then we'll take it up from there. We have good half an hour with us now.
I will share my slides so that they'll get an idea, more better, clear picture about it. And later on, we can have one-on-one session anytime next month.
In fact, I was wanting, Jyoti, I was wanting that we would invite you to the college when it opens, because, you know, though we are a virtual world, but it makes a lot of difference when you see all eager faces and you can see the reactions in the eyes of our participants. And then, you know, it's so wonderful having them in the class.
Adds you'll have lots no connection in offline compared to online.
I fully agree. So we will certainly do that as soon as the college opens. We'll request Sheetal to find a slot for all of us to be there together. But meanwhile, use the opportunity, ask participants, whosoever wants to ask. Sakshi, Samriddhi, Soumya, please go ahead and ask. Shraddha, Shreya. And if you've been talking to lots of them, Sheetal, do you have any general question that you think everybody asked, and maybe we can check with Dr. Jyotika if she can answer that and corroborate what you said? So maybe you can say something, Sheetal.
So the most common issue which girls are facing is they don't know how to begin with their projects, and also, for example, there is a project soil fertility. Say, so they don't know कि उसमें क्या करें, where to begin with, and what area, what domain they can choose.
Yeah. Okay.
Again,
Good.
this, yes, sir. Again,
Yeah, go
this basic thing for starting any research is like you have to identify the target site, the target population, your sample from where you have to collect that. So that is the first and foremost thing to start with. So we
Right.
are going for the soil fertility type of projects. Then I think the first thing is you identify the regions and why you want to, first is why you want to study the soil fertility. Okay, so if you know that, accordingly your region will be decided whether you want to study the soil fertility of a garden of a particular area, or you want to study the soil fertility of a agriculture field of particular region. So then again, the agriculture field will be different. If you are going for agricultural field study, you will pick up the sites which are near to the industrial area. If it is near to the industrial area, the fertility will be different. If it is near to the sewage area, the fertility will be different. So you can first pose a question. As I said, pose a question why you want to study a particular work. Okay, and once you have the idea, like if I want to know what will be the effect of that particular chemical industry on the agricultural product in that region, so then I will go for those sites, those agricultural fields which are nearby to certain industries. And then I will pick up the soil from those areas. And then I will go for the check of the soil fertility. I will check for, now I have the samples. I have soil from different regions. Now what I will do? I have to check what is the fertility. So I'll go for the pH check. I will go for the pollutants present in the my soil, which type of heavy metals, heavy elements are there. I will check for the type of bacteria present there, because bacteria are symbiotic bacteria which help in the growth of the produce, agriculture, crops. So that is how I'll go ahead with my study. So that is important, identification of the sites, and before that, the type of question you are posing. So that is how it will go.
Wonderful. Jyotika, that reminds me, I think if I remember it correctly, Ariba and Anushka and Sheetal, you had visited a suburban, urban area. Maybe
Yes, sir.
you can invite these interns who are working on the soil fertility. Maybe they can visit along with you, three people who had visited. Maybe you all three can go with the new team and check that area out and see if you can experiment with what Jyoti mentioned, how to do it. Maybe that's not a bad idea to look at that. I think that's a good thing, Jyoti, that you mentioned.
Also,
So,
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Shreya is asking something.
yeah, Shreya.
Shreya, you can unmute yourself and then ask. My question was, for example, we have chosen a project where we are supposed to provide a service to the community. So what are the things we need to keep in mind while doing that?
Okay. So, like, what type of project you have chosen? Can you give me one example?
Ma'am, home care assistants, HCAs.
Okay.
So in that we have to provide trainings to those 10 to 12 hours people, youngsters who are looking for jobs. We could provide trainings to them so that they could further be placed somewhere in home care.
Right.
So what are the things which we need to keep in mind?
So first and foremost, you have to identify the person whom you are picking is the right person. Okay. So like selection criteria for choosing the people for providing the training, because that is very important. You are sending them to some home which, or to the elderly, suppose it's a senior citizen home only, no other people reside over there. Okay, so their safety is also important, so that has to be taken care. So the selection is the foremost thing. Second, while training, the person does not have empathy, he will not be able to connect with that person whom he is serving. So you during training, you have to identify certain criteria which will impart to them so that they can provide a better care to the target population, your target population. Okay, so that during that training, you have to give them the empathy. Then training can be of different types. Suppose whether you are going for only elderly people, senior citizens who just need a someone to have time with them, to pass, like to chat with them. Okay, so that the time can pass with that. Second type of care can be some diseased person is there who need a help. So during that, you need a different type of training. So that training also will divide accordingly where you have to send the, or which type of person you are dealing with. So that is how your training criteria should go ahead. Then training can also be like to any person who needs help for him to do outside work, not in the household, but he wants some help that they can go out and get something for them. Okay, do their bank work or do their some documentation type of work. So that depends on what type of work. So training will be different accordingly. So that is how you will start first the selection criteria of the person whom you have to train. Then what type of training you have to give. The training can be of two types. First is the at emotional level, you have to train the people, and second training will be what type of work they have to do. So that will be work training. So emotional training and work training will be there.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
really wonderful inputs, Jyoti. In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
I must add that for every project that you interns are doing, there is a science concept, I mean, a component, and there is a society component also. Remember that science, if it is only for passing the graduation examination, then you can do that also. Not nobody is going to challenge you for it, and nobody is going to say not a good idea. But every time when you do some work, you study something and you take up this special project called HCA, and you are doing soil fertility, you are doing floriculture. I've seen such wonderful things like you wanting to do and find livelihood for women. Every time, use your scientific mind, that objective mind, and the methodology that Jyoti has been telling you. Use that to find what benefit can it bring to the society. That's the most important part of science. And science is the one discipline that can really make you girls being very sharp, data oriented, and result oriented. Okay, this comes when you study science. It doesn't come when you study many other subjects. So please follow that part, whether it is HCA or floriculture or livelihood or women's studies, or for women, anything you want to do, water studies, like some of you want to do the water project with school children, all that, etc., is very, very important. What do you say, Jyoti, about this idea about?
Yes, sir. I would like to add one thing. Yeah, I would like to recommend that if these girls or these students can take up their project to the school level also, and they
Okay.
can take the help from those students, because at school level also now the scenario has changed.
Mhm.
Students have started thinking in more practical way, more questionable. They question everything, like why this has been done, why not in this way. So they also have this aptitude, research aptitude, and if they give them the like opportunity, I think they will also can help them and contribute a lot in their project. So they can take help from their friends or their siblings. So that is a good way to carry out to the like societal level, how they can contribute and also take help from them both ways.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you said that. In fact, that has struck a bell in my mind. You know, one of the things, Jyoti, that I would like you to say, you are a young lady yourself. Many times I have heard from these interns and participants that my parents don't want me to go beyond. Now, you have given a wonderful idea. Why
Yes,
not ask the interns, get
family
your
member.
younger sister or your younger brother, or if you are very close, elder brother who's not too far and not too senior than you, to join you in whatever project you are doing. you will actually make a champion out of those people. And their schools, if you can contact, we will
Yes, sir.
help you. If you want a letter from us, we can give a letter, but visit the school of your younger sister or your younger brother. And I would also go forward and say we will be very happy from Leadwin, that is the firm that I am heading, and on behalf of the FOCE team at IT College, I would say we would actually invite them to become the team lead for their school. What's the
Yes, sir.
this wonderful thing? It can be done
It's
that
a
way,
good
right,
idea.
Jyoti?
Yeah,
Yeah,
very good
it can
idea,
be.
sir.
Yeah. And then those young boys and girls who they are, that parents concerned that how do I send my daughter to a site and I don't want you to, I think that gets kind of addressed when you have a younger
Yes.
brother or a senior brother joining you and going with you, then this issue about हम नहीं जा पाएंगे या हमारे हमारे वालिद साहब ये कहते हैं या हमारी मदर ये कहती हैं, हमारे
Mm.
पिताजी ये कहते हैं या बड़े भैया कहते हैं, I think that issue can be really addressed. This issue, I mean, we just cannot let the society not get the talent of these young, wonderful young women who are in this internship project. You know, when I
Definitely.
meet them, Jyoti, in the classroom, I find they're such bright young people. Their eyes shine when they see when something happens and they see the truth. Their eyes
Yeah.
shine, and I really want to capture that. So go involved, please do. Maybe your mother wants to join something in the project. Maybe if she's got the time.
Yes.
Okay. So I hope that girls, are you all listening? I hope that you're all there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
32. Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Yes,
think
sir.
wonderful thought from Leadwin. You will be our primary chief consultant for that particular project. You're the project leader for that project. Your younger brother, your younger sister can be your associate project leader. Okay. And we will give them a certificate also. I mean, they need some incentive. We'll give them a certificate. If they do a good job with you, they become your collaborator. We give you that particular thing. So I would request if Sheetal, you may please make a minute out of this thing recommendation, and we will go and talk to our placement chief at IT and also the principal. And you go ahead, and from my side, it's a all go ahead green light from my end. It's a wonderful addition today that Jyoti you have made. Thank you so much for it, and I hope
Thank
that
you,
you
sir.
will always be there with us, Jyoti, to guide us again.
Sure, sir. Anytime. I'm happy. I would love to come and meet them in person and suggest or
Yes,
solve
that will
their
be.
queries.
I'm so thankful
Ma'am,
that.
Thank you.
ma'am, there is one more question from our intern Shreya. Her
Yeah.
topic is mechanism for drainage storm water that collects on road during rainy season and recharging groundwater with it. So she is saying we have a basic model on how to prevent waterlogging, but how we are going to implement this? This is a question.
Okay. Actually, for such type of projects, I think I can come in person and discuss. That will be more better because immediately, like to tell how water logging can be, I would also have to think about it and then suggest some idea, good idea.
Yeah.
So that would
Or
be
Okay.
yeah, or Jyoti, what we can do, because this is a golden break that they are having right now in the winters.
yes, sir.
If they want, we can have a small team, invite you, and maybe we can meet at your office or at your lab in the campus, and maybe take 15 minutes, half an hour of your time, or maybe
Sure.
drop by to your home and just for 10-15 minutes, and
Okay,
Sheetal
sir.
can get the thing coordinated. Because if we wait for them to move forward in January, then they will get very busy again when the college reopens. They'll get very
Okay.
busy again. So is it comfortable, and is it fine with you if we can organize a small meeting?
Okay, sir. Anytime in the first week of January will be okay?
Yeah. First week is just round the corner, not a problem.
Yeah, next week only. So,
Next week
okay,
only.
then fine. I'll confirm the final date with
Uh-huh.
Sheetal and then she can coordinate.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for that.
Okay,
Thank you
thank you,
so
sir.
much, ma'am.
Welcome.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you. Any other question? Anybody else has a question? We had requested Jyoti for 1 hour of a time, and we have already exceeded that. So, Sheetal, all up to you how you wish to carry forward.
Girls, if you have any sort of query, you can discuss it with sir also.
Yeah, maybe we can do that after we say thank you so much to Jyoti, because otherwise we'll hold her on to some transactional things. Yeah.
Ma'am is not there. She left.
I
She left.
leave now.
Yes, left.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jyoti.
Okay, ma'am, you
Thank you.
can leave.
Thank you so much for your time.
Anytime,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Thank you so much.
God bless
Yeah.
you so much, and thank you so much for your time. Thank
My
you. very
best wishes to all the students.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.